Hi, everyone. I'm Jody Schwan, the owner and publisher of Sioux Falls Business. Welcome to another edition of Talent Thursday. We really enjoy these conversations in partnership with the Sioux Falls Development Foundation. Sometimes we bring you an employer perspective, but today is a true Talent Thursday where we're introducing you to a very talented up-and-coming person in our business community. Denise Gazzetta, who co-hosts these with me, has done a great job finding us another guest. Hi, Denise. How is your week going? And introduce us to who we're going to be hearing from today.
The week is going great, and I am so thrilled that we have Andrea with us. Andrea and I bump into each other all the time in our building. And so one of these times that I bumped into her, I just asked her about her background, which we're going to learn about today, which is quite exciting. So
Absolutely. So Andrea leads business development among other functions at Minnwest Bank and has a fantastic backstory, beginning with college. You know, sometimes when we talk about our Sioux Falls college grads, it's one or the other. It's Augie or it's USF. In Andrea's case, I don't know how you handle this when the two teams play, because you kind of have really accomplished a lot at both. So tell me about, first of all, the college experience and what brought you to Sioux Falls.
Yeah, well, thank you both for having me. It's a great cause, if you will, to showcase Sioux Falls and invite more people into our great city. I have been very blessed since coming to Sioux Falls in 2014. I came from Fairmont, Minnesota, a town of about 10,000, and I came to school at Augustana College back then. It's now Augustana University. To do my undergrad degree. Just a great school that had opportunities in a large city, but felt quaint, and the attention that you got from a Christian liberal arts school. I graduated a little early from Augie, and so I went, well, my friends are still in school, I might as well keep on going. And I did my MBA at USF. And so both great educational institutions. I will say I do favor one over the other. Stana is really where it's at, but I loved my experience at USF. And so having the combination of both, I think, gives you a good perspective of the institutions we have just right within our city. The connections I got at both, I wouldn't trade either of them. They both opened great doors. So I recommend school at Sioux Falls. And that is why then I stayed here, is because of the friendships you make, the fun, the activities you can do in beautiful downtown, as your background shows, but also just the professional connections and internships I got to experience because I went to school in Sioux Falls.
You know, that's such a familiar story. We have so much success with the Augie and the USF grads remaining in Sioux Falls because they like it here and because they're finding jobs here. But we also have high school students who watch this. We have parents who watch Talent Thursday. So, take me back to high school self, going to college in Sioux Falls. What was that experience like for you? What would you tell other students who are trying to decide, do I want to spend 4 years in Sioux Falls?
Yeah, I will not lie. I was scared of Sioux Falls. Like, coming from a small town, this is so big. I remember my mom drawing me a map of, this is Interstate 29 and this is Interstate 229, and how they, work and where the school is, because it was a big city. But the longer you're in Sioux Falls, the more it feels like home. Sioux Falls is really a small town with big opportunity. You can run into familiar faces, whether it's classmates, whether it be your professor at the time, when you go to Target, because everyone loves a good Target story. And so I was scared, but Sioux Falls really takes you in. It's safe. And with the opportunities that I was being promised when I signed the line to go to Augie, they really delivered. There are internships, lessons to learn, whether it was at the bakery back in the day or Startup Sioux Falls presentations. There's a lot to do with personal and professional growth as a college student.
That's so true. Denise, we were on the USF campus not long ago. Hopefully you guys all saw that video that we did recapping Talent Thursday, but I feel like those opportunities for college students are just multiplying here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the best advice is to get involved with it. Like, you get what you put into things. And so my best advice, regardless of where you go to school, even if you're, at state right now, is to get out and ask for opportunities, go to things that you maybe wouldn't normally go to, or ask someone, a professor, out for coffee, and you never know where the doors are going to open at. And that's the blessing of Sioux Falls, is people are so willing to do that with you and help the next generation, if you will.
It's amazing. So that's one of the things, and you can tell that Andrea is very, very friendly, right? And outgoing. I find a lot of the graduates that are coming out of Augustana and the University of Sioux Falls, we just embrace them in our community. You're absolutely right, Jody. A couple of weeks ago, we had Talent Draft Day at the University of Sioux Falls, and it was amazing. We welcomed all of these high school students onto this campus, and those college students took really nice care of all of their, sometimes future, colleagues, right? And so that's what you're going to find here is this town is growing and it is changing, but people are coming here because of the quality of life, the friendliness. We have great leaders, our great mayor, Mayor Tankake, and great governor. So we continue to see great things as far as people coming here.
So fun fact about Andrea that I recalled when I was looking back of coverage that we've done is that at one point in life, you wanted to be a mortician. That's a new one.
I did.
So how does the career path go from, mortician to banking and many stops in between? Talk me through the progression here.
Well, to be a mortician, you must be good at chemistry and biology, and that is not my strong suit. I do think that being a funeral director would still be a beautiful thing to do in life. I think it's a beautiful journey and a celebration for someone. But my strengths, when you really lean into them, is organization and is analytical and, personable, things like that. And so I started taking more business classes and realized this is something I'm good at and I enjoy. And one of my first internships and summer jobs was at a bank. I really enjoyed that side of it. It was retail banking. I interned at Sanford for a bit there. I had some internships with the Home Builders Association, a number of different pit stops. I spent a stint in fundraising, which really allowed me to really grow my personable side, my development, the relationship connection piece of things, and kind of get a practice at the sales part. Fundraising is sales. And so when this opportunity to join Minnwest came about, it combined that past banking experience and my strengths when it comes to numbers and growth. But also I get to do what I love, and that's talk to people and help them maybe run their business better, or they're not give back to a nonprofit because their, profits are higher, you name it. So I fell back into banking, and now that I think I wanted to be a mortician. When I feel like I just
taken me out of that too.
But I will tell you, having been in chemical construction, for a few years and doing, new product development for a very large global chemical company, I had the ability to go inside of personal effects and in some of the different things that are offered in services, like cremation services and stuff. And you're going to find amazing levels of work. So I can see where, at least initially, you have me there, Andrea, with the whole connection, because you are serving people and you are doing a lot of good and there's a lot of interest there. But now you're in this role of banking and you're in this really hub where things are growing quite exponentially. So I imagine that you're not bored at all.
Oh, never. I think we all wish we had more time in the day. And I have told people this, that on the commercial side of banking, especially with Sioux Falls growing at the rate that it is, it's exciting to hear of what these new projects are going to be and have someone come in with a dream and say, we can help you make that a reality. But on the commercial side, it takes a while. It's Jody, you know it from starting your own business, that I kind of say it's a Thanksgiving meal. There's a lot that goes into commercial banking relationship. A business is not just, I want to open an account and we're done. And so there's always things we can be doing to improve and build a relationship, whether it be cash management products or supporting them at an event, a nonprofit, you name it. Never bored, which is good.
Yeah, and I don't want to miss the point here that, as you can see, Andrea is not very old. I think you're in your mid 20s. And yet,
Yes.
I listened to this and she has worked in
Mhm.
healthcare, in financial services, in nonprofit worlds without leaving Sioux Falls. And I think that that to me is
Right.
so important for those of you who just don't know what you want to do yet. Totally understandable. But you want to be in a business community where you're going to have those opportunities to explore. And, that to me is what's so exciting about the Sioux Falls of today versus even when I moved here going on 20 years ago. There are so many ways that you can do career exploration from the time you're in college through your early professional life and really all the way along. I know of many people who have changed industries here along the way and found great opportunities at each step.
Yeah. And it's the people that you meet that make our city so great. That if I was interested in learning more about, journalism, Jody would probably be willing to talk to me and share that passion and walk me through some resources that don't have to necessarily jump full force into something, but there's people there to help dip your toe if it is of interest to you.
Well, and the reason that Denise runs into you in the building, and I wanted to touch on this too, is because you're involved in the Sioux Falls Chamber of Commerce. I know you've been involved in MB through their women's leadership program. So, help us understand some of those ways outside of your job that you've been able to connect to the broader community already, even just a few years out of college.
Yeah. The chamber within Denise's building, the chamber is fantastic. There's a reason that our Sioux Falls chamber is a spot on the map. We are unlike any other chamber. We are strong and vibrant. Being a diplomat with that, I get the opportunity to make service calls to our members and thank them and ask about reinvestment, which puts me in front of many different industries and individuals. In the chamber, we have the Young Professionals Network, which especially coming out of college is a fantastic organization for people 18 to 39 to get involved with our community, grow professionally, but also personally with friendships and activities. The YPN, I have found some of my very best friends within that I didn't even go to college with. So the YPN is great for even exploring other career opportunities too, and the connections you build. The sales and marketing executives, SME, is another group that I love being part of. Again, just a different variety of people that you're in a room with, growing and learning all the time. Jody, you mentioned MB's Women Leadership Program. That is a great thing to just learn more about myself and reflect on who Andrea is. Andrea as a banker, but Andrea as a person. And then our nonprofit community is amazing and amazing. There's too many good organizations, but being able to volunteer with those organizations, be a campaigner for things like Forward Sioux Falls, which just propel our community even more. I have the opportunity to co-chair the Furniture Mission campaign coming up here this next year. And I am so excited because you see these people of our community rally together behind a nonprofit, which whether you just came out of college, whether you are near retirement or past it, there's ways to get involved in some great nonprofits. So
that's amazing. I just love how involved you've been able to become. And I mean, don't you think, Denise? Because I could see people thinking, oh, this is intimidating. I don't know anybody in Sioux Falls. I'm not from there. How do I get connected? Look at what you've done. I mean, really.
And that's one of the things, we think about the programming that we're doing, okay? Because Jody and I work a lot together. We just came off this big talent draft day. Some of that program involves soft skill and social skill development, right? And making connections. And so my advice to people listening to this and maybe having kids, don't worry about getting them engaged or having them be involved. Our business community, as Andrea is saying, is really very nurturing, and they will welcome them in. And that's one of the things that allows a professional to grow and develop. You know, everybody can point back to somebody in their life that really mentor them, help them along. And so that's what you're going to find here. You're going to find people that really, that's just what they're going to do. That's the Sioux Falls advantage.
Yeah.
And I think the other things is, you know, Andrea, with all these internship experiences, got a chance to really understand where she wanted to be as an individual. That's really important, because a lot of times, you know, your job satisfaction is really tied into, is it really your interest to do X, Y, or Z? And so having that ability to discover that about yourself is really important. So,
Yeah.
So Andrea, what do you like about living here? I mean, it's a whole different deal when you're not in college and in that mode. Do you have a neighborhood that you've gravitated to? What do you like to do for fun?
Yeah. Well, I'm in transition of neighborhood right now. Hopefully closing on my first house here next week, which is exciting. I know, right? Like, oh, it's been a long time coming, but
Awesome.
I think just that, even like the opportunities aside from my professional job, is that I'm able to make of myself. With Sioux Falls has great neighborhoods and places to live, and as a single 25-year-old gal, to be able to accomplish something like that, Sioux Falls provides that opportunity to me to live in a townhome that maybe I wouldn't get in a different city because of cost of living or because of too small of a community. So that's super exciting. And with that, it's going downtown and having a drink. It's going to do escape rooms. It's walking in all the parks that we have. We have so many great activities that are hosted with the arts that you can go to. You are never, if you are bored, you need to look up some type of website. Jody put some resources of to do during the week. Like, yes, you can never be bored in Sioux Falls. And so professionally and personally, my cup is overflowing. Overflowing. There you go.
And you're bringing a good point, because one of the things Jody, when you launched, you know, Vision 605, really was to inspire people to get connected, because so much of our own appreciation and satisfaction is tied into being engaged. And we talk a lot about that on these Talent Thursdays, with the intersection between career, community, and cause. We have two lovely individuals that just started in our office within the last couple months, and I just adore them. In fact, one of them's your former classmate.
Yes,
and so, yes. And that's one of the things is we're better from having these connections and really being involved and engaged with each other. You know, as a mother to two little kids, and they're not so little anymore, they're growing up, and I know I'm counting when they go to college. However, it is nice to hear about your experiences, Andrea, because I do think that is what people want to hear at all levels. You know, parents want to hear that, young professionals want to hear that, students want to hear that. You know, people that are moving here and they're retiring, they want to heir that because they want to bring their grandkids closer. So there's so many different things to really do. So,
we love hearing about those first-time homebuyers too. I can't tell you how many people in their 20s that we've interviewed. And I was the same way about my house in my 20s in Sioux Falls. And I just heard something the other day that like my equivalent, like the size of my house in California, if you were to buy that, would be $4 million. Like, it's no wonder that I had classmates who moved to the West Coast who didn't get into a home until they were like 40, you know, or well into their 30s anyway. And here you are having that experience already, and that's not uncommon in Sioux Falls, and yet it's such a differentiator.
No, it's Midwest is best. There is that saying, and it is true when it comes to mentorship and people who are willing to have conversations, when it comes to the changes in weather, when it comes to the cost of living, Sioux Falls ranks superior.
I think, Jody, we're going to talk to her offline about getting her engaged in women's in workforce, because we're talking about Gen Z and what Gen Z wants in employment. And I think all anybody needs to do is just listen to Andrea.
Yeah, and before we
That's
go, I do want to
exactly
mention this. I've been having so many good conversations, and we'll
right.
follow up on this for next Talent Thursday. But we've been helping communicate the different programming that's coming up with the WIN Summit, which is October 28th. And I've just had some great interviews with people talking about the future of work and of workforce, and it's everything that you guys have been communicating, but it is that flexibility. It's finding work that reflects your values, and a workplace that accepts you for who you are. And before we go, Denise, I do want to make sure that we tell anybody who's listening that you need to sign up and go to this event, because it's a fantastic agenda and you're going to take away some really, really good information.
You absolutely will. And one of the things is, we talk about such a broad, there's so many different topics that are affecting workforce. And so we come together and it's a half day where you're going to find at least one thing you're going to walk away from that summit and you're going to do differently in your business and your personal life. And this year, we're going back to our favorite pastime, one of them and that's football. Fall, right? Engagement. And we're going to have a really great story with Chad. He's going to kick things off, but then we're going to get into these different sessions and really talk about what's the best strategies for people to hire, retain, develop. What are we seeing here as far as skill sets changing? Andrea is talking about Augustana and University of Sioux Falls, and they are in the middle of it right now. They're preparing not only people to come out into the workforce, but leaders. Okay. And so what are they seeing? And then, of course, you're mentioning, Dr. Jose Marie Griffiths and Dr. Binky, who is the dean of the Beacon School of Business. They're also involved in this. And so you will not be, you'll be very glad to spend your time and really hear from all of these experts. 43 experts are coming together, which is very, very powerful. So
43 people. Yeah, it's just an incredible rundown. And if they want to sign up for that, where should they go?
they should go. So they should look for Win in Workforce 2021 on Eventbrite.
Okay.
Or you can come to our website at the Sioux Falls Development Foundation and look under Talent and Workforce, and then look under Win Summit, and you'll find the information there. Our marketing team does a nice job of putting all of that information out, and it's so easy just to access the list of speakers, the schedule. You can get the registration link. So everything is right where you need it to be. So we love it.
It's going to be a great event.
Yes. So yeah, you can actually look on siouxfalls.business. If you search Win in Workforce, you'll find everything that we've done related to that. More to come. We got a piece out today, actually previewing one of the sessions. So just great variety of topics. Andrea, before we let you go, any other closing thoughts? It's been so fun learning more about your journey, and you've got great things ahead. So
thank you.
With you, I know many times to come, but any other message for people who might be considering a move to Sioux Falls?
I just find one person and ask them how to get involved. I get requests often of, I just moved, what should I be involved with? There's the 211 helpline is a great place to look for opportunities. Jody shares great things in Sioux Falls Business and Pigeon 605. The chamber website. There are so many resources, and just if you're considering moving to Sioux Falls or you just did, I encourage you just to go to something. Put yourself out there. Everything starts with a conversation. So find someone and learn more. So it's a great place. It's a great place.
I love it.
We're glad you're here. Denise, any closing thoughts from your end?
No, I'm just thrilled that Andrea joined us today and we're having this conversation. I know we're going to get a lot of good feedback, as we always do. We have such great speakers and people that can really come along and share those interesting tidbits about why here and why Sioux Falls. And just thank you, Jody, because Jody does an amazing job and she doesn't get always enough credit for me. So if I'm saying it now, yes, because Jody really helps connect us all and brings up our business community into a lot of these social areas. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. No, I love doing it. It's an important topic for the community, and these are just great stories. Andrea's a perfect example of that. So
thank you.
Next week, same time. We've got a guest lined up already. I'm not going to give away who it is. It's somebody.
It's a good guest, though. I think you all got to join in next week.
The word is out. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a good conversation, I am sure. So
I would tell you, I call him all the time, this brilliant genius that we have here that also is part of our angel investor community. It's just wonderful.
There you
A
go.
great example of another person that's just a wonderful human being. So thank you both.
Raise your hand. Okay. Next week, if you've not signed up for the Women Workforce Summit yet, do that. And we'll talk to you next Talent Thursday. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Bye.
ladies.